the European multiculturalism madness, and several months has passed, and you know more about the situation in our country. Do you hold up that words?
I do. I think that Poland is certainly in the minority in this respect, but Poland is really setting the example for the rest of Europe in terms of retaining international identity by not allowing hordes of immigrants to pour into the country. You only have to look, just across the nations that are accepting all of these people in Germany, Britain, to see that the ramifications of doing so are all negative. There are no positives coming out of the situation. We have terror attacks, we have colonisation. So I think Poland really are setting an example.
Well, our politicians says that we can learn a lot from other cultures, for example, the Muslims.
I think there is truth in that you can learn from other cultures, certainly, but you can do so whilst visiting them in their own environment, i.e. if I go to Africa, I want to take in African culture. I don't want to see British culture in Spain, and I don't want to see Islamic culture in Poland. So yes, we can learn from each other, but it doesn't mean that we should take over each other's lands.
Our last interview has gained a great popularity, but among all greetings enjoyed, there were also comments that has accused Britain first of anti-Polish origins. Some people have written that it's all gonna be the same as it was in 1945 when the job was done and the Polish troops weren't even invited to the victory parade. Can you answer that?
Yeah, I can answer that. I'd like to start by saying that Britain First specifically do not hold any anti-Polish views. So Britain First are very much pro-Poland. As I say, we're supportive of Poland and the Polish in our country. But Britain as a nation, I will agree there are some issues. People have a misconception about, some people, not many, but some Brits have a misconception about Poles in our country in terms of jobs and income and welfare. Well, let me just say that I would take 1 million Poles into our country before I took one Islamic immigrant in. And people need to understand that there are times when we have relied heavily upon the Poles, like you say, in the Second World War, and the way the British government betrayed the Poles is an absolute national outrage. It's a scandal, and it's brought shame on our nation. I am ashamed of the corrupt British government and the way they completely abandoned the Polish after they fought in our skies to defend our people, and we just sold them out to the communists. That is a shame on our nation, and I can honestly state that as a party, Britain First will vow that that would never, ever happen again.
Yeah, so you mean it by heart, and you can assure people that your claims are not only for a short period of time, but you just don't need Poles for now and then go away, but whatever you say, it's for a long period of time, right?
Forever. We make these assurances and we mean them. We are a party of honour and loyalty, and the bond between Britain and Poland will not be broken again by a corrupt establishment. And so if we do call upon the Poles for help, or if the Poles call upon us for help, that bond will be forever.
And by us, you mean British nationalists or the British society, Great Britain? What do you mean exactly?
Certainly British nationalists appreciate the sacrifices made by the Poles, certainly in the Second World War specifically you mentioned. But I think Britain as a people have realised and are realising the benefits of having Poles in our country. I mean, look, we're not talking about a people that are coming and taking from our welfare state, taking from our national, our national health service. These people aren't coming and taking handouts. These are people that are coming, they're working hard. And moreover, and I can say this on a personal level, as the leader of a nationalist movement, a patriotic political party, I am seeing more and more Polish patriots coming to our events, standing shoulder to shoulder with us. So I think if there are any people in Britain that have a negative opinion about Polish people, They need to stop being so ignorant and consider the sacrifices that have been made in the past and the fact that these are our people and we should stick together.
Right. So please do tell us, how do you see Europe in about 10 years? Is there any plan to stop this Islamization, and what's the role of Poland in it?
I truly believe that within 10 years, Europe will have descended into civil war against the Muslims. I truly believe that. I think the Islamic takeover has, it's progressed so far that there is no turning back on the issue of demographics. We are literally being outbred in our own nations. And I further believe, and I say this honestly, I believe that Poland will be leading that resistance. I believe that Poland is the only nation, although Hungary have been showing some very good signs as well of retaining their national identity and their heritage and not accepting floods of Muslims into their country, but Poland certainly have shown that they really have the backbone to stand up and say, look, this is our country, these are our people, we fought to defend this, we established our sovereignty at the cost of our people's blood, and we are not handing it over to Muslim immigrants. So I think that within 10 years the civil war will have begun, and I honestly believe Poland will be leading the resistance.
And what might happen to the European Union after that?
Well, the European Union is finished anyway. Look, we are, as a party, as a movement, we are pro-Europe, but we are anti-European Union. We voted for Brexit, we're leaving the European Union, and we're basically leaving a sinking ship. It's not going to be around for long.
But you're not leaving Europe.
Oh, certainly not. We'll never leave Europe.